7 minutes after the hour is 6 o'clock. Thank you so much for joining us on the Power Breakfast Show on Power 102 Digital. Of course, on the show this morning, it's all about the R's. We got Paul Richards, Richard Ragabarasing, we got Ruben. Then we got the S's. We got Shane and myself, Steve Kahn, keeping you company this morning. Quickly, let's get into the WTs, see what's happening. Starting out in San Fernando this morning, I got nothing to tell you about. Folks that took over 4 hours to get to San Fernando because of that roadway. Macaulay, we will chat with the Minister of Works and Transport coming up in a short regarding that. Because a lot of people from the north of the Macaulay will be heading to supper this morning. And 4 hours yesterday afternoon and into the evening was whoa. So we'll see what's going on there. But you got some traffic from Freeport to Chase Village. Iguanas Main Road is beginning to build. Then from pretty much Monroe Road towards the interchange, you've got some volume. If you're swinging left, you'll pick up your traffic just by swim call. Trinidad City to Huey and approaching Piaco, you've got some traffic. I got nothing to tell you about as yet. Out of the west. All right. It is, let's see, it's pretty cool this morning. It's 22 degrees at Piaco International Airport, 23 at Crown Point in our beautiful sister Isle of Tobago. Let's check to see if the Met Office has updated their weather for today. They're saying it's going to be occasionally light to moderate morning. Morning showers would cease to give a mostly fair and breezy day. All right. And that was from yesterday when they updated it at 4:18. Has not been updated since then. Let's take a look and see who sent us hellos first thing this morning. Whoa, a lot of people. Oliver Man Warren, good morning. Wayne B. in Covington, Georgia. DJ Ray in Tampa. Marcia Rock out in Florida. Maria Celia, good morning. Ewart Rajpal, Carol Joseph, Rena Budu Jennings out in Pitti Valley. Got Celia out in Baltimore. Wendy and James out in San Juan. Gloria Gray, good morning. Ms. Maloney. CJ in New York. Josie Richardson. Randy Kelly. Chris Toussaint out in Washington, D.C. Good morning to you. Let's say good morning. Oh, what is this here? Going out to sunny San Fernando. Michael out in London. Good morning to Bobby. Dan Raj, good morning. Val, good morning. Patos, good morning. Let's see, what else we got here? Good morning. Someone sent a message. Oh, okay. I'll have to get into that. Yeah. All right. Good morning to you, Paul Richards. What's happening?
Morning, Steve. Morning, everyone. Morning,
my friend. What's going on?
I'm here typing away.
Typing away. Very good. Very good. I'm here typing away as well, would you believe? You want to hear? Let's see. Well, I'm not typing, but I'm searching. Getting my elements already as I proceed with this morning show. I'm trying to get a result poll from yesterday.
Trying to get the what?
The results of the poll. I can't seem to get it. I don't know why. Oh, just got it. All right. Yes. Right. Okay, of course, today is the funeral of Mr. Basdeo Panday, state funeral of the Hindu rites. I see you send me the program.
Yeah, very simple program. The religious persons will, well, of course, the funeral starts at 9. The order of entrance will be, of course, his widow, Mrs. Uma Panday, and the family. Then the arrival of the Honorable Chief Justice, Mr. Justice Ivor Archie. Then the arrival of the Prime Minister. Then the arrival of the Excellencies Christine Kangaloo and Mr. Christine Kangaloo, the President Christine Kangaloo. And then the commencement of the prayers with Imam Dr. Hamza Rafiq, Reverend Joy Abdul Mohan, Chief Ricardo Barras Hernandez, Reverend Carl Patterson, Pundit Dundas Chedi, Baba Neil Ryan Rollins, the Most Reverend Charles Jason Gordon, and the Right Reverend Bishop Claude Berkeley. All religious groups, of course, represented in Trinidad and Tobago. Then recitals from Miss Adriana Archibar, tributes from Mr. Subhash Panday's brother, and Mr. John Humphrey, his colleague and friend. Miss Eva Cameron, his granddaughter, Mr. Daniel Tarlow, his son-in-law, Her Excellency Christine Kangaloo, the president, the eulogy presented by Makila Panday, his daughter, and a recital by Kes Diffenthaler. Following that, there'll be the draping of the casket with national flag, national anthem, and then the exit from the Sapa main hall and to the Shore of Peace cremation site. So that's the very simple. It's expected to last about 2 hours. And we bring it to you live from 9 to Power Digital through the auspices of TTT.
Yeah.
So, final rights.
Of course, if you're in San Fernando, they're going to leave Das Funeral Home in Marabella, head along San Fernando Bypass onto Crossing, interchange onto the Rienzi Curtin Highway, then to Todd Street, and then from Todd into the Southern Academy for the Performing Arts. The drive from Das Funeral Home will commence at 7:10 this morning. Yeah. So that's so if you're heading that way, you know what to expect. Most schools in the area are closed because of the traffic disruptions and so on. Following the funeral service, they will depart Sapa at 11:30, proceed left onto Balize Avenue, then onto San Fernando Bypass, continuing south onto South Trunk Road, then onto the Mosquito Creek. And then turning into the Shore of Peace from there to the cremation site. So, and there you go for that route. Are you heading down there, Paul?
Yep.
Yeah.
After the show, just after the 7 o'clock news.
Yeah, a lot of people took over 4 hours to get to San Fernando yesterday evening.
But I thought they said the roadworks are only going to take place. Is it the roadworks or collapse in the road?
This is a collapse. This has been going on for over a week. They've had part of the road. People burst their tires. That was last week. And then yesterday lunchtime, people actually saw the road shifting. And then it collapsed, apparently, and it was down to 1 lane in that area.
That's heading south?
Heading southbound.
So there's going to be drama today again with all the people heading for this funeral.
So when I spoke to Minister Sinanan last evening, in fact, we'll call him now, he said road works would be completed by this evening. So let me just get an update on that, because a lot of people north of Macaulay would be heading to the funeral and give them some sort of idea exactly what's happening.
If they're expecting 700 official guests and people at Skinner Park and also on the grounds of Sapa, there's a lot of cars heading down south today.
So let me just get an update from him. We did tell him we were going to call him after 6. So now it's pretty much after 6. So
that's if they didn't fix that road, we're going to have a lot of issues.
Yeah, I mean, taking 4 hours is.
I don't think anybody can afford 4 hours today, unless you have blue lights. I do have blue lights.
You don't have or police escort or whatever it is.
That's a blue light, sir.
Yeah. I didn't get
So
him,
we'll
so I'll
see.
try.
I hope they completed the roadworks because, I mean, not completing those roadworks will mean a lot of drama today for that heading south for that funeral. But and guests are supposed to be seated by 8:15. So you see how it goes. Terrence, I don't know if you heard the interview with Minister Brown yesterday, but there'll be no neither the Prime Minister nor the opposition leader are called to speak.
Would they be attend? I'm assuming the opposition leader would be attending.
Well,
I haven't heard you say anything about the Prime Minister.
yes, I did.
Oh, sorry, well, I missed it. Is he going?
Well, I said the arrivals of the Panday family in this order. The Chief Justice, the Prime Minister, and Her Excellency the President expected just before 9. So I don't think that Raleigh will miss something like this, to be very honest. He's a stickler for that kind of protocol. Good morning, Raghubar Singh. Welcome back.
Good morning, guys.
Rich, what's shaking?
And good morning to our listeners and viewers, wherever you are.
Why the kind of ghost so today? I don't know what that camera is doing to you, but you look kind of spooky.
He also looks spooky.
I think it's the lighting. It's kind of extra dark.
Since that sunlight you engaged the other day, you know, things changing. So we're talking about the funeral and the potential for traffic jam heading south today. Because part of the road apparently fell in.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that Steve put that up, and I was like, "What? Which part we saw? Solomon, which highway fell in?"
By Macaulay. Someone sent me a video. He was driving northbound,
What is that?
and he just drove and all you saw was this lights heading to south. And I'm going, whoa.
Where's Macaulay?
That's after Forest Park. They're heading southbound.
That's after Claxton Bay.
Vicinity of, let's put it that way.
Okay, is it? Well, there are some parts, I was going to say where on earth could fall, but there are some parts that could fall.
Yeah, a lot of parts that could fall in.
That could fall in, yeah.
Let me see if I
It's
get
kind of
it.
elevated. So, yeah, so, wow. Well, they must have been working on that last night, straight through the night.
Yeah, they were.
So that's a major artery. You don't get more major artery than that.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's it.
Somebody said that is Baz in the Great Beyond saying, I ain't halfway in my funeral. I'm keeping this road.
Lord.
I ain't halfway in my funeral. I'm keeping this road and stop away from going upset. Anyway, good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. That's the big news today. Basdeo Panday will be laid to rest. State funeral at 9. The country's leadership will be in attendance. Again, there'll be quite a number of tributes, including his brother Subhash Panday, Miss Adriana Archibald, John Humphrey, Eva Cameron, his granddaughter, Mr. Daniel Tarlow, his son-in-law, Her Excellency President Christine Kangaloo, the eulogy done by his daughter Makila Panday, and a recital from Kes Diffentala. This is after all the religious leaders do their presentations. So it's a lot of standing up. Wear comfortable shoes.
I didn't know John Humphrey was still around.
Yes, he is still around.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
What do you mean by still around?
No, his name is not a name I've heard in eons.
Yes, he's still breathing with us, yes.
Yeah, you know, so it's okay.
I want to ask you something, changing your topic. Now, I don't know how many of you saw the viral video of this online blogger, and everybody's a blogger now, who was the subject of a police visit. Apparently, somebody made a report, whether true or not, about her children or one of her children being in danger. So Claire Guy Allen from the police victim and witness and another officer paid a visit to the woman's home.
Mm-hmm.
She asked them to stop filming her. They asked her to stop filming them. Of course, she was live on it. Everything is have to be live now. And shut the door on them. And refused to answer her questions, and they left and apparently came back. And I'm saying something is wrong with this. Police officers get a report of child endangerment of some kind, whether accurate or not, I don't know. You understand? Because people are mischievous also, eh? You understand? And she's a blogger, and people will target her sometimes, I'm presuming, right? So we don't know if the report on her regarding her child or children
is valid or not.
Or it's valid or not. Let me just say that from the start. I don't know. And they went, she closed the door on them, and they left to come back with reinforcements. And I'm saying, now, is that the procedure? If a child is reported in danger, you leave and come back? And then somebody was speculating. I saw an attorney on TikTok talking about you will need a court order. Richard could clarify this, to remove children from that space. Would that be valid also?
I'm not sure because I'm not that familiar with all of the aspects of criminal law, but under the Children's Act,
officers,
I think officers can enter as a matter of safety. As a matter of safety.
I was just going to say.
That's my understanding of it. So the fact that she closed the door and officers left without having a chance to properly investigate if this child was safe or not is shocking to me.
Yeah.
Suppose, I'm not just for conversation, I'm not saying the child is. Suppose the child was actually in danger, you would leave and come back?
So she was, the blogger was aggressive about it, obviously.
I don't want to use the word aggressive. I'm saying she thought she didn't want to let them in the house, and she told them something they asked her. She said, that's none of your business. And she closed her front door, and I think they left and came back with, if I could call it, reinforcements.
I mean, I'm not so sure if they require a court order. As I say, I'm not sure. I don't want to be 100% certain on it. But you know, they call, well, you know, they have all of these incidents of swatting now, which is what they call that when you make a hoax call that involves the police coming to you for whatever reason. Somebody has made a hoax call. They call that swatting. That judge in Trump's case just experienced it, actually. Yeah, where they made some hoax calls about a gun going off in her house or something.
I saw that, yes, and it was a hoax call.
Yeah, so they call that swatting. Apparently, there's an uptick in it. So I don't know if she's a victim of swatting, but the issue of the police entering or not is purely an issue of what the law gives them in terms of discretion. To me,
my understanding of it, and somebody could correct me if I'm wrong, is if the police perceive a child is in danger, the police have the right to enter immediately to save the child, as opposed to going for a court order, leaving the child in continuous danger, if that is the case, and coming back. You understand? That doesn't seem to make sense legally to me.
Yeah. How long they took, though?
I don't know, but the fact that they would leave and come back is surprising to me. Yeah. But and yesterday someone was saying in YouTube, well, they went for reinforcement, but they don't have a phone.
True. But what eventually
you have to leave to ask for reinforcement?
What was the outcome, though?
I think, and I'm correct me if I'm correct, I didn't see the end, but I saw people talking about it, and how the police did come and remove the children, but I think the children were returned to her because nothing was seemed to be wrong with the children. You understand? So, and that's why I said at the start, I think it may have been the subject of what you're calling, what a SWAT call?
Swatting.
Swatting, because she may be the target of people who just do like her because of her strong opinions on social media.
Yeah.
I always question people. I mean, people could do what they want with the children within the law and within safety, but people who choose to constantly put their children up on social media is surprising to me. You know, as part of their ongoing blogging or whatever they do. You know, I don't think it's a good practice. That's just my opinion. I think children should be protected from the glare of public scrutiny. And then what happens is people say, I've seen people say awful things about this woman's children before, you know. Horrible people, you know, will drag her children into it and say horrible things about her children, which shouldn't be happening. But then again, she's the one who's putting her children on social media, you know. That isn't justified. But
do I know this blogger?
Raw something or the other. Her name is Raw something or the other.
I probably not, because a lot of those things don't come up in my feed, but
I don't know why they come up in mine.
I just
maybe it's the bacchanal algorithm.
Yeah. You know you connected to that. So
and I open the door, so you hit a 6 out of the park.
Exactly. Yeah. But I mean, I don't know of the incident, but I mean, I was incredibly busy yesterday, so
yeah,
you know, I didn't scroll on my phone much.
Yeah. So Kamala calls for Hines and COP to be fired over crime. What's new?
Well, I see that earlier. Christopher took some bashing again for bringing up God.
You know,
some commentary. I shouldn't say bashing. I should say some commentary. In asking God that, well, for saying something along the lines, and I'm paraphrasing, so don't hold me to it, but saying something along the lines that it can only be won with the help of God, or something along that line, or at some ceremony where, was it a church?
Yes, you know, to be fair to Ireland, you know, I have my issues with Mrs. here with Christopher and her performance, or lack thereof. To be fair to Mrs. Harewood Christopher, the Commissioner of Police, she said it in the context of a police interfaith service.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? It was in a church. So, I mean, I understand it in this context. You understand? John Cato is saying Road Talk. That's the blogger's name, Road Talk. So, for people to be dragging her, yes, and she should have known. Now, obviously, the woman has very poor communication skills, or doesn't read the room very well. In the context of her last God-related statement, you know you're going to draw some fire again with this one. You understand? But she's taking up for her belief system, I believe, and she has the right to do that. But I understand her saying it in this context because she was in an interfaith service under the auspices of the TT Police Service. So yes, God will come up. But as I said yesterday, your belief and faith in God helping you through should not negate your performance, strategy, and acumen as a police service leader. You understand? God is not going to help if you're not doing a good job down on earth. So your call for God to help and intervene, which is fine by me, I fully support that, should not be seen to take the place of good policing work. You understand? And proper management of the police service. So if you're not managing the police service properly, which I expect is an issue in some departments, you could call on God how much you want. You ain't going to have no results that you want. How Mrs. Aaron jump in yet?
Well, I mean, I don't know what to say, really, but except that it fueled additional commentary in that line. I don't want to say bashing. I don't think it approached the level of bashing, at least not what I interfaced with in terms of commentary on it. But certainly, I suppose, additional commentary because of her first statement.
Exactly, in the context. Yeah. And that's why I said she can't seem to read the room. But
yeah.
And you know, let me tell you something. If Mrs. Harewood Christopher and the TT Police Service were performing adequately, no one would have an issue with her saying, let's continue to pray. And you understand? There would be no issue with saying, let's continue to pray and keep the country safe with the help of God. If they were performing adequately. When you have her saying that a week after the officer in St. Joseph with the gentleman who called about his wife and the robbery case, and you have that after a week after that and several other issues, come on, they're going to get some pushback. So if the police service is performing well, you could call whatever divine entity you want down and to help us stay safe in the country. But if you're not performing well, you're going to get some pushback and licks.
But she is on record of saying that you will start to see improvements soon, not so?
She said so before, a year ago. Maybe she has a different.
But I mean, out of this recent one, I think that's what she said too.
Out of what recent one? This recent call for God or new police strategies? Was it that God didn't hear?
I think recently she said it. I don't know if it was an end of year statement or something, but
well, we ain't seen it yet, huh?
Yeah, but something that I read somewhere.
She said she's optimistic and she says she expects to see results eventually. Well, eventually could be a long, long time in this country. Because if you look at the police, the statistics, the crime statistics, I should say, even before Mrs. Kerr with Christopher took office, they're not going in the right direction. Okay? They're not. So, I don't know if we have to wait for, I'm going to say that people will say I'm being blasphemous. And they're bringing on the vengeance and Moko on me this morning, which we don't really want. I already have Mrs. Ara to be here, so. Good morning, Mrs. Ara.
This morning.
Hmm?
Oh, they had a falling out yesterday, or?
No, last week. Remember, Mrs. Ara had a problem with me last week.
Oh, I thought there was some ramping up. Or...
No. She just said, my breath of fresh air, Rich. She just, this is her comment this morning so far. Good morning, Mrs. R. That's Mrs. R. As you come on, she lights up. She becomes ebullient, very effervescent when she sees your face and hears your voice.
You mean don't most people?
No. No, not necessarily. There you go. You see what? Look at that. Look, yes. You see? Yes, there you go. I dare to say I'm waiting for Mr. Pinal in a while. Are we?
Oh, since that time.
I'd like to hear Mr. Pinal sometime, but we haven't heard him since that exchange. Don't talk strippiness, warning on discrimination. Don't do that. You'll get put up. Have strong opinions. Have diametrically opposed opinions to everybody. I have no problem with that. Do not enter into discrimination. Why is somebody calling me this hour of the morning? No. And then 914 number 2. Where's that? Where's 914 in the world?
914.
New Jersey? I'm just throwing out a state.
No. Not this hour of the morning. Come on. And that's another thing. Why people just call you all hours?
New York.
If you're not friends or family.
914 is Westchester County, New York.
Oh, come on. Somebody you know me.
Clearly.
Yeah, somebody who knows me.
I'm still trying to get out to the Minister Rohan Sinanan, not getting him at all.
914. Okay.
There's no other update of the road at this point, Steve.
No, well, that's what I'm trying to get him, Minister. He's supposed to be on this morning. I don't know.
Southbound.
But he probably overseen making sure everything all right. You don't want the traffic jam going down south today of all days.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. But not only that, but southbound people who are currently listening to us could tell us.
Yeah. 4 hours yesterday, Rich. 4 hours.
Well, normally is a 2-hour drive, and afternoons, normally. So if part of the road caved in. But didn't they start some other road works that he announced over the weekend?
That's by Brentwood.
Or something.
Yeah, they're going to do, there are 11 stages. They're starting by Brentwood to expand using the median and heading straight up to south to make that road now a 3-lane highway.
You know what's amazing about that?
I don't know.
There's a lot of talk about mass transit, and when Dr. Rowley took office in 2015, there was quite a bit of conversation about, I think there was a feasibility study done regarding the rapid rail project, and then they said we can't afford it now, blah, blah, blah. And I saw a video out of China or Japan, one of the two, I can't remember which one it is, showcasing a new type of mass transit vehicle, which is very much like a train, but drives on the road. Of course, they're very disciplined countries, so he ain't gonna bounce into nobody. But there were about 3 or 4 carts, like an articulated bus, and that was being employed in areas where there were no tracks, and it was very useful because of the number of people it could carry. I thought about that for Trinidad, but then again, I said PTSD gonna mess that up too. Because if they can't get the normal bus service running properly, why would they get an articulated bus service running properly? You know?
PTSD is just a mess.
No, they don't think so.
They don't think
so. You know?
I mean, one, no public transport on a public holiday. The buses that leave the yard dirty on the outside.
PTSD is an embarrassment.
It is an embarrassment.
You're being very kind. It's an embarrassment that you can't get a small mass transit system that got working efficiently. Remember they spoke to us about app and stuff like that? I have never seen an app take so long to develop. PTSD is an embarrassment. It's an embarrassment. They spend about $400 million on that nonsense every year. You know, but you can't get digital signs put up on bus terminuses so people could see. It ought to be on all how far out a particular bus is. That coordination beyond y'all in 2024. Okay. Or on an app, information on an app that tells you bus Port of Sprinter Rima bus 345B is in Kirep now and heading to Sanwo, will be in Sanwo in 15 minutes. That you can do? Come on. PTSD. Not to mention, let's not even get started on Citygate. And that is our main, most used transit hub. That thing where you just walk down them chicken wire enclosures. That thing that looks ridiculously bad, that looks like something from the 1970s, that we feel is appropriate. And you know what's sad about it? I've always said, the original building on that space is magnificent.
Oh, it is indeed.
It's like a treasury building or one of those buildings that built in the 1960s or 70s. The original building is fantastic. But what they added, good morning, call member, Minister Ember, is the worst.
Yeah. There's no wheelchair access.
I don't know how the state hasn't allowed that to continue for so long. I can't think of that whole space after you head up the stairs and you walk down that long, what you call chicken wire kind of enclosure. Is it the same? Has it ever been upgraded? Is it air conditioned now? I have no clue. Or if it's just the same thing it has always been since it was
the same thing.
Just experienced it about 3 years ago, and it was the same thing.
It has not changed since it was built.
No. They painted a couple of times.
That's incredible. That your major transit hub in the country has not undergone further enhancement and development for citizens and
that no government has thought that it should be upgraded.
None. I've seen
and all governments in the last 15 to 20 years think that is appropriate.
Yep.
That is the level we deserve.
I think that's just how they consider us. That's how they look at us. Which
because
I always
they have
say,
their own cars.
That's good enough for them. That mentality.
That's good enough for them.
Yeah, that good enough for them mentality that our politicians sometimes
Yep.
have.
Absolutely.
That's what that is.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
Even the taxi stands in the vicinity are deplorable. Lack of lighting. Many people.
And you know what it is too, in addition to the traveling public? It's a mindset to maxi taxi drivers. That is all them maxi taxi drivers deserve. You understand? Because they're the ones who drive their buses in and out of there. Them maxi taxi drivers do deserve more than that. And by extension, the traveling public. So nobody thought, you know what? In the next budget, I am going to put aside a couple $2 billion to upgrade. I think it's going to take a lot because, I mean, you have to do it in phases or some kind of way not to totally discombobulate the public transport system into Port of Spain, which is the most significant. But at least you start and present a modern plan for that transit hub, because it's a transit hub. As I said before, that original building is beautiful. But
all it needs are good. The outside, the facade needs a good pressure wash. You can't paint that building. That's a pressure wash. That's how you have to clean that. And just start working on the inside.
That whole chicken wire insertion need to come now.
It's absolutely ridiculous. But you know what? Nobody cares. And you're all right.
I just think it's working somewhat, so let's just leave it. So we're interfering with that for. So it's either rapid rail or nothing. You understand? We can't do rapid rail, so there's no intermediate plan.
I know Wendell and I were big fans of the rapid rail.
Me too.
I think we were thinking like that is the probably once that was efficient, it's probably the one thing that could get people, if you had park and rides, that people would jump on and jump on.
But it's a holistic plan. Yeah, rapid rail is
because and I don't know why they don't revisit it, because I think there are new technologies now with regard to those kinds of transits and elevated.
It's one rail on either side.
Yeah,
you didn't matter
things with new materials and stuff that has made it more low cost. I know one of the companies that is involved in that is one called Rail Bus, which is a company I think out of Dubai that is trying to look at the technology in that area that I've come across. But there are technological improvements in terms of reducing cost and implementation, the kind of materials they use now in terms of getting those kinds of transport and networks up and running. So it's something they could probably look at again.
Probably won't. Do you have papers?
No, I'm good. Sorry.
All right.
I could do the Guardian though.
Let me start with that. Tuesday, the 9th of January, 2024. Let's start with the Express. It's a beautiful picture of Makila Panday and her sisters looking at their father's body lying in honor at Sapa in San Fernando. You can see the love and grief on their faces. And the headline is Political Speakers Out. While there'll be leading political figures, there'll be no political speeches from either the Prime Minister nor the opposition leader today. We went through the program earlier on this morning. Odd job man gunned down. I couldn't find a reason to like Robinson. That was what Mr. Panday says in an expose ongoing. In the sun and rain, they waited. Of course, the tributes continue through from Port of Spain to San Fernando for persons in the public waiting to get a view of Mr. Panday's body lying in honor. Hillview Honors 13 scholarship winners.
Wait, hold on. Say that again there, Paul.
Hillview College Honors, there are 13 scholarship winners. Good morning, Dr. Singh. Mark, he left a rich legacy. 4 shot after Tobago row. Booth builder shot dead in Savannah. Kamla closes party office.
You froze momentarily. I didn't hear what you said.
No, he didn't. You froze. Everybody else in the world heard.
Kamla closes party offices to attend Panday funeral. And Erla calls on God again. 6 weekend murders. So those are headlines in the Express.
I could do the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian for today. And just in case you didn't know, today is January 9th, 2024. And the headline on the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian today, final rites for Bass. Hundreds expected for Panday's funeral at Sapa. Emotional time for family and close friends. And there's some pictures of people looking at the body. Makila Panday, Wright, and her sister Nyala are comforted by family members during the viewing of the body of their father, former Prime Minister Basdeo Panday. Man gunned down at breakfast shed. That's a subheadline. Also on the front page. And that's it for the main stories on the front page of the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian today.
Let's move to the
Let me
Newsday
just
now.
the back page. The back page, CPL helped West Indies develop. CEO Russell dismisses criticism of partnership. And that's it for the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian today.
Moving to the Newsday, Prime Minister, I will defend myself against disinformation. Of course, speaking about his response to the Trinidad Guardian editorial. Hundreds pay tribute to Basdeo Panday at Sapa. Government invites public to late PM's funeral. Come say goodbye to Panday. Kamala calls for Hines and COP to be fired over crime. Jatam Head, Unity best tribute for Panday. Judges left out of Panday's state funeral. Funeral for slain mother and daughter set for Tuesday in Diego Martin. Deputy THA Chief Secretary puts green light to challenge Audiogate search warrant. Royal Commonwealth Society remembers Panday. And JSC examine airport finances and fuel prices. Those are trending stories in your Express, Guardian, and Newsday for today, Tuesday, the 9th of January, 2024.
Yeah. All right. All right. So let's get the results of our morning. I'm getting reports of all kinds of things this morning. One being in Tabaquite. Yeah. And where 3 bandits tried to enter a home in Claxton Bay. All right. So let's get the results of our morning poll. We asked you, do you think Michaela Panday will be welcomed back into the UNC fold? That was our poll yesterday. The results are in. 63%, 63 said yes. All right, 63% said yes. All right, let's get into this morning's poll. Good morning to Straight Talk out in London. Mars versus Venus. Diana Benskin, Leo Henry, Nemesis, Mrs. R. What's going on? John Cato, Terrence Brown, Carol Guevara, Trinidad Margot. Good morning to you all. Richard M. Jeremiah.
The only question. Go ahead.
I suppose you could ask about whether you have a problem with the Commissioner of Police invoking God to assist in the fight against crime.
I was thinking along the same lines. So, what is the format of your question, sir?
Yeah. Do you have any issue with the Commissioner of Police invoking God's assistance in the fight against crime?
All right. Once again, our morning poll, call us now. 866-525-1099. That's our toll-free number. Or 222-8255. Or WhatsApp at 318-1021. Facebook and on YouTube. Our poll again, Richie Rich.
I'm waiting for Paul to finish typing up.
You know, he's a one to get typer.
Obviously, he never went to that secretarial school of typing.
No, I didn't.
But it was, which was the famous one? I can't remember right now. There was a famous one. I can't remember right now.
You one in Woodbrook.
Was it Jardins?
I just say it, I wouldn't even know.
Yeah. So, do you have an issue with the Commissioner of Police invoking God's assistance in the fight against crime? Yes or no? So, do you have an issue with the COP, the Commissioner of Police invoking God's assistance in the fight against crime? Yes or no? That's our poll this morning.
Mm-hmm.
It has resurfaced because of that interfaith service that was recently had for the TTPS. What's your take, listeners and viewers? That's what we want to know this morning. What's your opinion on the issue? So do you have an issue with the Commissioner of Police invoking God's assistance in the fight against crime? Yes or no? That's our poll this morning. 222-TALK, 222-8255. North Americans, toll free at 525-1099. People on the web and the app, of course, you can send your votes via the YouTube stream comment section or the comment section on Facebook, LinkedIn, Insta Live, etc. And you can also send your votes via WhatsApp at 868-318-1021.
All right. Mrs. R says no. Josie Richardson says no. Julia S. Batiste says no. Okay. Let's see. Someone is saying, Steve, a couple of places flying the flag at half. Staff is not mass, it's staff. Yesterday, which was wrong. Actually, it's not. Flags can fly half staff until today. All right, until today. I did see a few private companies with their flags at half staff. Mass is when you're at sea. Staff is when you're on land. CJ New York says no. Wayne B says no. Julia S. Batiste says no. What says you, caller?
Good morning.
Morning. Sorry, I cut you off a little while ago.
Okay, good morning. No, but as the Bible stated, words without works is dead. Okay.
All right. Cheryl Johnson says no. Kazim Mohammed says no. Lester Craigwell says yes to the poll. Ray Rodriguez says no. Right. Do you have an issue with the Commissioner of Police invoking God's assistance in the fight against crime? Trevor Narima says no. Marshall Rock says no. And of course, that what I was talking about there was earlier on was some guy saw some his father, I believe, heard some noise, went to their cameras and realized there were three guys trying to break into their house. He went and called his son, who's a licensed firearm user. The young man fired some shots and the guys went scampering. And that is a next bacchanal we need to bring up too, is the renewal of your firearm user's license.
Isn't that going to court?
Well, that's it. There's a lot of stuff going on where you have to get a Form 1, for understand, a competence, and a doctor needs to sign off. And there are a lot of places that sell firearms and so on, from what I'm told, that are charging upwards of $1,500 to $2,000 to get those done. That does not include the $500 license fee, including that the police stations do not have the receipt book for it. So it's a complete mess. And as you said, yes, it's supposed to be going to court. That was fast, Paul. That was fast. We took 1 minute to shower and change and put some hair gel. Holy cow. You muted it. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, gentlemen. Sandy Grandi, no.
Thank you, Sandy Grandi. Marcia Rock says no to the poll. Morning, Marcia Rock. Like you have a genie living in that house there, Paul.
You know you can shower before the show starts, right?
Are you
Do you have an issue with the Commissioner of Police invoking God's assistance in the fight against crime?
Yes. You know the most.
I didn't hear Wayne B. You didn't say Wayne B. Did you say Wayne B? TJ from New York. All of those.
Yeah, I did all that. Mm-hmm.
Cheryl Johnson.
Mm-hmm. Kazim Mohammed, Lester Craigwell, Ray, Marcia. Donna Lealing, new, says no. Got some WhatsApp here where I did Trevor, said no. Okay.
Our poll, do you have an issue with the Commissioner of Police invoking God's assistance in the fight against crime? That's our
Eve.
poll.
Eve out in Sugargonas says no. Thank you, Eve.
Terrence Brown says no. Guy Small says yep, big time.
When you're slim, Steve, you dress faster.
She should do that in privacy and ask
If I had the
guidance.
powers to put a band-aid over your
Ebert
mouth and have you up
said
there with a
no. Richard Jeremiah says no. So,
Okay.
222 talk, 222-8255, North Americans, 866-525-1099. People on the web and the app, you can send your votes via the comment section. And that's available on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Insta Live. And of course, you can also vote via WhatsApp at 318-1021. Of course, please put the code 868 before it, but 318-1021.
I attempted to say something about trying to behave myself this morning.
So do you have an issue with the Commissioner of Police invoking God's assistance in the fight against crime? That's our poll this morning. Beauty Culture also says no.
He just gave us the show again. He has the belief that we want to see his stomach every morning. So he gives us a show every morning. For some reason, he thinks that we want to see his stomach, okay? Every morning. So he gives us a show every morning.
Well, Dana
There you go.
Benskin.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, Dana Benskin, I'm not too sure.
I will deal with you when you come in. You, Paul Richards.
Dana Benskin, I'm not sure how to take your vote. We need
Global orbiting devices. I like that.
to fight crime.
Good one, Diana. Good
I
one.
don't know if that's a yes or no. Samuel Paul says, Mr. Richards,
That's a good one in Syria.
you're well dressed for the funeral this morning.
That's very easy. You know, a white shirt, a black pants, and a black tie. It's all.
And he just has to choose a jacket from the 20 he has on his back seat.
I moved them out. I have you now.
Dina
You
says
move them
no.
out? Yeah, I didn't notice.
I moved them out.
Dana
Marcus
Benskin, I
Dina
love that
says
one.
no.
Global orbiting devices. That's what we need.
Honestly, I have no problem with the commissioner saying that. I just don't want to believe that calling on God is the way to run a police service.
No, however, the Bible says faith without works is dead. Therefore, the quality of your work is a demonstration of the depth of your faith. Keep praying for everyone to do good works. Slick Money Grip says no to the poll. So do you have an issue with the Commissioner of Police invoking God's assistance in the fight against crime? That's our poll this morning. What says you? What's your opinion on this issue? 222-TALK, 222-8255.
I'll try to log on the phone on the drive down to San Fernando after the news.
Yeah. North Americans, 866-525-1099.
All right. Slick Money Grip says no. Nemesis says yes. All right. Let's get into our 7 o'clock major news. Oh, somebody just snuck in with a... he says no. All right. All right. Let's get into our 7 o'clock major news on this, the 9th day of January.
This is your news bulletin from Power 102 Digital.
It is Tuesday, 9th January 2024. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. This is news to 7 a.m. Here's the headlines first. State funeral for the late Basdeo Panday at 9 this morning. The NGC Group makes a profit of $2.38 billion. UWP criticizes St. Lucia government over exorbitant gas prices. And the BBC is reporting shares in Boeing have slumped after one of its planes was involved in a dramatic mid-air blowout in the U.S. We have details coming up next. This is major news on News Power Digital. Good morning. Approximately 700 people comprising regional dignitaries, including Barbados Foreign Affairs Minister and CARICOM's Assistant General Secretary, are expected to be among the hundreds attending this morning's funeral of former Prime Minister Basdeo Panday at the Southern Academy for the Performing Arts in San Fernando. The funeral of Trinidad and Tobago's fifth Prime Minister begins at 9 this morning. Final farewells will be said to a man whose very considerable, colorful, and controversial career since entering politics in 1966 and the Parliament in 1976 earned him legendary status among public he served on the TNT's political landscape. Mr. Panday was the UNC's founder and first leader. He died on the 1st of January 2024 at the Jacksonville, Florida hospital after being taken by air ambulance to the U.S. on December 12 to investigate medical concerns. His body was returned home last Wednesday. Today's state funeral will be TNT's first under Hindu rites. The funerals of 4 other previous prime ministers were under Christian rites. And today, the state funeral for Mr. Panday with the former prime minister will be held in San Fernando. It will be broadcast live on TTT's platform, television, Facebook, and YouTube. Limited space is available for members of the public to view the funeral service via live stream in the Sapa car park and also via large screens at Skinner Park in San Fernando. And Mr. Panday's state funeral program includes presentations and tributes from Subhash Panday, his brother, Miss Adriana Archiba, with a recital, and tributes from John Humphrey, Eva Cameron, his granddaughter, Mr. Daniel Tarlow, his son-in-law, Her Excellency President Christine Kangaloo, and a eulogy from his daughter Makila Panday, and a recital from entertainer Kester Fantala. Among those who will attend the state funeral are President Christine Kangaloo, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley, and the Chief Justice Ivo Archie, as well as government ministers. Also, the opposition leader Kamala Prasad Bisesa, all UNC elected MPs and senators will be in attendance at the funeral service. There'll be a journey to the cremation site at the Shore of Peace, Mosquito Creek, where Mr. Panday's body will be cremated. There is a hope that the legacies of former Prime Minister Basdeo Panday and Tobago House of Assembly Chief Secretary Hutroy Charles continues to shape the thoughts, ideas, and policies of our region's academics, intellectuals, practitioners, politicians, managers, and policymakers. The message contained in the tribute to both 90-year-old Mr. Panday and 77-year-old late Mr. Charles, and condolences to their families, friends, and well-wishers by the Department of Political Science, UE St. Augustine campus. The NGC Group has announced a profit of $2.38 billion, maintaining a position of profitability for the year ending December 31st, 2022. This is just 5.2% lower than the $2.51 billion after-tax profit recorded in 2021, according to the 2022 summary consolidated financial statements for NGC. There is a voluntary recall of 1 lot of bleomycin for injection, a recall done by the Ministry of Health via its Drug Inspectorate Division. It was initiated due to a confirmed customer report of the presence of glass particulates within a single vial. The ministry advises persons who may be in possession of the recalled products with listed lot numbers and expiration dates to discontinue use immediately and return the product to the place of purchase where possible. The Health Ministry will continue to monitor the situation and advise the population as necessary. In news of the region, the United Workers' Party calls for the government in St. Lucia to reconsider its stance on gas prices and prioritize the interests of the people of St. Lucia. It's urging Prime Minister Peer to engage in meaningful dialogue with stakeholders, including the private sector, to collaboratively develop a more equitable and sustainable solution. The UWP firmly believes that together with compassionate and responsible governance, a brighter future can be created for St. Lucians, where citizens do not have to bear the unnecessary burdens of high gas prices. And finally, the BBC is reporting shares in Boeing have slumped after one of its aircraft was involved in a dramatic mid-air blowout in the US. The cabin panel tore off a 737 MAX 9 flown by Alaska Airlines, forcing an emergency landing and prompting safety officials to ground the same makeup jet installed with the affected door plug. The US plane maker's shares dropped more than 8% on Monday before regaining some ground. The fall comes after the accident returned scrutiny to Boeing, which has been trying to emerge from the shadow of 2 high-profile crashes involving a different 737 model, the MAX 8 in 2018 and 2019, in which 346 people died. To end our 7 a.m. newscast, here are the headlines once again. State funeral for the late Basdeo Panday today. 700 dignitaries expected to attend. The NGC Group makes a profit of $2.38 billion for 2022. UWP criticizes the St. Lucia government over exorbitant gas prices, and the BBC is reporting shares in Boeing have slumped after one of its planes was involved in a dramatic mid-air blowout in the US. That is major news to 7 a.m. right here on News Power Digital. We'll have major news coming up again at 12 noon with headlines at 8 a.m.
Up to date and incredible. Power 102 Digital.
All right. Thank you, Paul, for our major news. Of course, we have a news update coming up at 8 o'clock. 22 degrees at Piarco International Airport, 26 at Crown Point in Tobago. The Met Office at 6:28 this morning updated their weather update. Predominantly sunny and breezy conditions are expected despite a few afternoon showers. This evening will be fair with a brief shower at times. Maximum forecast temperature for today, 32 degrees on both islands. All right. Let's take a look at what's happening on the highways and on the byways, see what's going on there. I'm starting out in San Fernando. I will still try to get the Minister of Works and Transport on. If you're heading southbound on Solo, you want to exit onto Taruba Link Road. Yep, you got some volume. That's going to take you up to the Naparima Mayara Road. Going to Coquier on the Naparima Mayara Road from the Solo onto the bypass. Little volume there this morning. Let's see. Superior Road has got some traffic. Going to Princestown, you've got some traffic. I'm not seeing anything by Macaulay yet, but we'll find out. Rivulet Road is a bit busy. Going to California and Calcutta's also got some traffic. Heavy on the Solo from Freeport towards Sugarguanas. I am being told there's a minor accident after Sugarguanas, Brentwood, southbound. It's a minor accident that will be shortly. But after Sugarguanas approaching Monroe Road, you're going to pick up your traffic heading northbound. From Chin Chin Road to Ibis Gardens, an extension towards Carney Roundabout, you've also got some traffic. All right, going to Santa Rosa. I've got a minor accident. Again, it's westbound Churchill Roosevelt Highway. It's by Orange Grove. All right, so with that, of course, that traffic's going to take you towards UE and then extension into Port of Spain from QREP, Maraval, Otadago, Eastern Main Road, from Arima Old Road, Tacarigua, Page, towards Mova Junction, going up Lady Young Road, coming down from Santa Cruz into San Juan, also got some traffic. But I'm not seeing or hearing anything. Macaulay, of course, Macaulay is between Claxton Bay and Gasparilla, or vice versa. Okay? All right. Let's see if we have any more votes there, gentlemen. What was your last one you took, Richard? Nemesis? Okay, I don't know where Richard went to. Trini in Boston, good morning to you. How you doing? Samuel Paul. You certainly need divine intervention. Jacqueline Linfat says no. Ms. Maloney says no. Samuel Paul, to the question, not at all. Beauty culture. Okay. And that's it, Richie Rich. What do you got for me?
Well, the poll this morning was, do you have an issue with the Commissioner of Police invoking God's assistance in the fight against crime?
Mm-hmm.
We had 30 people voting on the poll in the allotted time. Of the 30 people voting, 27 of you said no, you did not have a problem, but 3 of you said yes, you did. So 27 said no, 3 people said yes, they did have an issue with her invoking God's assistance. 27 said no, they didn't. 30 people voted in all. Of course, you can continue to vote in this poll throughout the day, through our programming, and we'll give you the final results tomorrow morning as to the final results in terms of our listeners and viewers.
Yeah. All right. Let me try and call the Minister of Works and Transport just to get an update. and then we'll get talk to Dr. Ford Khan with regards to Mr. Panday. Let me see if I get a minister who works in transport online. One ring, two ring. I think he overslept. He's still sleeping. He needs to shake a leg. Well, I'm not getting him. So I'll try Dr. Fuad Khan shortly. I'll try him now, but we'll just get through a couple of... Oh, let me just let you all know. WASA has sent out a notice here, press release. Planned maintenance at Beetham Wastewater Treatment Plant. The Water and Sewage Authority advises members of the public that it will be undertaking critical planned maintenance work at the Beetham Wastewater Treatment Plant tomorrow, Wednesday, between the hours of 7 a.m. and 6 p.m. As a result of these works, there may be higher than normal flows in the sewer collection system, leading to the possibility of overflowing manholes in areas of Lower Port of Spain and Beetham Gardens, EU. The authority team will be on standby to respond in any such cases by pumping down these manholes and sanitizing the affected areas. All right. Remember, how crappy is that? You get it? Sewer, crappy. Okay, so Minister Sinanan says I can call him now. So I am going to do that. It's a shame I know his number to a T. Yeah, so let's get Minister Sinanan on the line. Let's get an update on the Immaculate situation. All right. Okay. Am I not dialing the right number?
Probably changed his number and didn't tell you.
No. He's on the phone because it's ringing non-stop.
You say, oh, thank God I got rid of Steve Khan. Nobody is to give Steve Khan my number.
Ron Sinanan is always accessible, especially to moi. All right.
Except today.
Except today, but I should send you the. I don't know if you saw the video of the traffic situation in South yesterday evening. Did you see it?
No. I didn't even know there was a situation.
Really? Let me find it.
I was really out of it.
Oh
my God,
and the delays in the south have started already. Oh, there he is. I think this is Minister Sinanan. That's not my fault. He was calling.
You're tired of marriage yourself this morning.
I tell you, but folks know this.
With much flourish. Yeah. I think we have Minister that beep, beep.
He's calling me on my cell phone. So I'm trying back here. We're just playing phone tag. He's calling, I'm calling, he's calling, I'm calling. Good morning, Piggy Lou. Right. We should be on the go here.
So we're waiting to speak to the Minister of Works considering the collapse of part of the Solomon.
Yeah, well, I do have Minister Sinanan on the line. Good morning to you, Minister. How you doing?
Morning, Steve. Good morning.
I only have Richard with me. Paul is on his way to San Fernando.
Okay, he was one of the chosen ones.
He's one of the chosen ones. So yesterday evening, people took 4+ hours from the start of the interchange to San Fernando. By Macaulay, they said part of the road collapsed. That road seems to be giving problems in that vicinity within the last 2 weeks.
Actually, it have been giving problems within the last 10 years.
Okay.
There was some failure there in 2014. Retaining wall was built. Unfortunately, within the last month or so, the wall have given way. The investigation show that there's a major water problem in the area, which is some of the challenges that we find now on the infrastructure network. Water seems to be causing some major problems for us. So they have found a solution. Unfortunately, it's just not like an overnight fix. So, with the best of intentions, the challenge have been there. What we have decided to do is to shift the highway a bit so that we can do the permanent reinstatement, because you would recognize within the last 2 to 3 weeks, whatever we put in place, the slippage continue.
Mm-hmm.
So we actually have to start the permanent work, because the temporary work is not holding the way we expected it to hold.
I know that the only reason I got to know about this, I saw a lot of posts about people tires going down in a sinkhole and saying. Yesterday lunchtime, I saw a post where some people are saying that the road in that vicinity shifted. And then last night, that fiasco, people taking 4 hours where they had to go to one lane. Now, there are a lot of people heading to San Fernando this morning, especially to supper. Paul Richards being one. Is the road now repaired, or can we expect delays, or police are there, or what?
The road is open. What we did, we woke up to the wee hours of this morning, again putting a temporary fix on it. We don't expect that temporary fix to hold out because of the amount of movement in the area. However, the road is open. The 2 lanes are open this morning, and we expect the traffic to flow this morning in the normal pattern. We will close the road maybe back tonight to 1 lane, because what we're doing, we're actually converting the median right now into a more permanent fix until we could get the road back the way we want it. So right now the road is open 2 lanes, because we work until about 5 this morning to ensure that happens. But again, it is not going to be a permanent. It's just a temporary fix.
Yeah, it's not going to hold.
So the work that is being done now is purely about the temporary fix before you get to the permanent works.
Yes. However, what we're doing as well is that we're filling the median. So we will shift the highway a bit, and that will be able to hold out 2 lanes until we complete the permanent fix. So I presume by tomorrow we'll have the problem under full control. But for today, the existing road is open 2 ways.
All right. Well, that's fantastic news for people that traverse around that area. I saw that video yesterday. I'm going, if I was in that, I'd be cussing.
That is why we have decided to extend the highway to 3 lanes all the way to San Fernando on a phased basis. We just started with the Chaguanas to Couva. And the reason for that is that you come off 4 lanes of the interchange, 2 on top and 2 at the bottom. Then you go down into 3 lanes from there to Chaguanas. And then from Chaguanas all the way to San Fernando, you go into 2 lanes. So if you have a problem on 1 lane, like we're experiencing now, then you have 1 lane bottleneck all the way to San Fernando. And that is where you have a major problem. The time has come now for us to extend the highway to 3 lanes all the way to San Fernando. And we've been doing that now on a phased basis.
Yeah, remember we spoke about this last day when we spoke to you. How long do you think, I know it's on a phased basis, but when do you think it will be completed?
Okay, I don't want to give a completion date to San Fernando, but what I can say is the first phase, which is Chaguanas to Couva, should be completed by the end of July.
And it's both sides, north and south?
Yeah, north and south, yes. Because you have the problem on a morning coming up, and then you have the problem on an evening going down.
Yeah. I saw you did an interview where you saying that the cable barriers were very expensive. And then when you came into office, you saw a bill for $12 million.
20 million.
Yeah.
20 million.
20 million.
20. Yeah.
Wow.
And
Can I make one suggestion to you though?
Sure.
And that if we're going to put the concrete barriers all the way up to San Fernando, could we make them high enough that the headlights on the other lane would not distract the oncoming traffic?
Well, those things are done to a code. I mean, we just can't just get up and say, look, we're going to go this side. All these things are up to AASHTO standard, which is the American International Standard that you have to basically apply once you're doing these highways.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all taken into consideration, but it's to the AASHTO standard, which is really one of the highest standards in the world that we utilize now in building the highway. As a matter of fact, the challenge at the Macaulay there, what we recognize now is that when we did build the highway then, the whole system, from the foundation come up, is really not what you will use now if you're building a highway. When those highways were built, we never had the volume of 10-wheeler and 12-wheeler and 20-wheeler trucks on the road. And what is happening underneath there is the clay is now giving away. And at certain points on the highway, you're seeing that. So whatever we do now is to the AASHTO International, which is the international benchmark best practice standard.
Mm-hmm.
And, hopefully roads that we build now will give us the sort of lifespan that you expect.
Yeah. Yeah. I find sometimes when we repair a road, after a few months, there are now indentations in the road from vehicles smashing brakes and so on. And we have a lot of lorries that to me, as a layman, seems to be overweight.
Way overweight. When we do our exercises on the road, which we do from time to time, sometimes you have 75% of the trucks are overweight, 75, and some overweight by 100%. So you can imagine what the road network sees on a daily basis. And it is something that we are still trying to clamp down on. Because remember, most of our roads were not engineered for this sort of traffic. They evolve over time, especially the secondary roads and so.
But I remember a while back, can't remember when, I know you had pulled a few trucks over and sent them to Caroni licensing office because they were overweight with loads of whatever, gravel and disuse. And people came by with other trucks and were trying to throw gravel into another truck so it won't be seen as overweight. Are there more exercises going to happen regarding that soon?
Yes. The Transport Commissioner and his team will go out from time to time and carry out that exercise. And it is something that we are going to continue because we have to get these trucks and so to, conform to what the regulations. And our regulations, again, are in regulations that are based on international standards. It's not that our roads need to be stronger. We need to expand the weight, the volume that we allow trucks to. The international standard is 10 tons per axle. Some countries have 8, some have even less than that. Our standard is 10 tons per axle. So it means that the amount of material you could carry on a truck in Trinidad is the same amount you could carry in the United States, in most parts of England, all the international territories. So it's just that sometimes we do things here that you really will not try in any other country.
Yeah. All right.
Minister, as we have you, is there any update on the completion date for the O'Mara Road improvements?
That project, if I recall, was supposed to be a 5-month project, and it is on schedule.
Okay.
So I don't have the exact date for completion, but so far the project is on schedule.
Okay, well, good to know it's 5 months because I know it causes a lot of traffic congestion, even though it's traffic congestion that people are bearing with for the improvement of the road.
Yeah, the area they have always been challenged with traffic, and that is why we're doing the improvement. Now, during construction, what you find is that a lot of people will slow down even more to observe and things like, we have that tendency that what causes a lot of the traffic is slowing down to see what happens, to see what's going on. It's something you have to live with while the construction is going on. The this project is on schedule, and once it's completed, it will significantly improve the traffic in the area. Those projects will be referred to them as the traffic alleviation projects, where we look at this year 11 areas in Trinidad that we're trying to actually do something to help move the traffic a little faster. That is one of the projects.
Yeah. Are there any plans for the Tumpuna Road intersection that crosses into La Quetta? Because that's a big one too.
Yeah. So that is the one that we're hoping again this year to start. We are looking at, we have some minor land acquisitions being sorted out now. The designs have been completed, and I'm hoping that later on this year we could make a start there. What we're trying to do now is to actually add, if you look at La Joqueta there, trying to get into La Joqueta when you go all the way down to the Tumpuna light, is a nightmare. So we're trying to add an additional lane that when you get the light there, you have two lanes going across instead of just that one lane. We have challenges in those areas like that because of the land acquisition and so they're limited as to what we can do. But we do have a plan to sort of ease the flow in the area.
All right, good to know.
Well, thank you so much, Minister Sinanan, for spending some time with us this morning, just letting the folks know about the situation in Macaulay.
I am actually on the way to San Fernando.
Oh, you one of the chosen ones as well?
Well, at the end of the day, Mr. Panday, and condolences goes out to his family. He has been a wonderful soldier to this country. He has done his part, and I think we all owe him that, that gratitude for what he would have done for us as a nation. And again, my condolences goes out to his family this morning.
When we say the name Basdeo Panday, what comes to your mind?
Struggle. He have been one of them who would have done his part for the workers in this country, especially the sugar workers. And the name Basdeo Panday to me means struggle and humility.
Well said. Well said. Well, thank you. All the best and safe travels.
Thank you.
All right. You take care. All right. Of course, that was Minister Ron Sinanan. All right. So we're going to segue into Dr. Fuad Khan. So let me just get him online to talk about Mr. Panday and if he agrees with what Minister Sinanan said. So let me try and get him here. At least the phone rings this time there, Richie Rich.
I know on American highways, my sister was just reminding me that on American highways, you do see those weighing stations where trucks have to pull to the side from time to time to be weighed. And then exit the trucks that they have to go through the weighing station before they merge back onto the highway.
And it's compulsory. If they don't go through the weigh station, they are fined.
Yeah.
They're charged.
I don't know if they were planning to implement something like that here. I thought they were going to have weighing stations at certain points, but you never saw anything come
up. That was under, if I do recall, Jack Warner was saying that when he was Minister of Works and Transport.
Yeah. You haven't seen
anything. We do have Dr. Fuad Khan online. Good morning to Dr. Khan. How are you going?
Morning, everybody. How are you all doing?
Not too bad at all. Not too bad at all. So we wanted to talk to you a little bit about, Mr. Panday.
Sure.
And what do you, if I say his name, what comes to your mind? I just asked Minister Sinanan the same question. He said struggle.
Well, what comes to my mind is not so much struggle, but a person who understood what it needs to be innovative, and a person who was not afraid of people who were good, and he could utilize them effectively for the benefit of the movement. Because I found that about Mr. Panday when I worked with him, and he wasn't afraid of challenging talk and innovative ideas. So he was able to implement innovative ideas. And a lot of leaders cannot do that. And they tend to push their ideas on. But he listened to, as I say, better ideas than he could think about, and he tried to implement it after discussion. That is what I liked about Mr. Panday. We were able to speak to him about, well, ideas that came to your head, that it was, out of the box thinking, and he understood it. And he was not afraid of people taking his position as a leader. He always gave everybody a chance because he knew he was good.
Isn't that in terms of his leadership style, in terms of the leaders you've interfaced with, Dr. Khan, isn't that you're saying that Mr. Panday's leadership style was the one that you felt most comfortable with?
Very much so. Very much so, because he was able to bring out the best in people. People were not afraid to approach him and afraid for the positions that they are going to be victimized. That never occurred under Mr. Panday. Never once at all. Even if he was angry with you, he would just call you in and speak to you. But that was with me and different other people.
Right. I saw an interview with Michaela Panday where they were asking her what she felt should be named after Mr. Panday, and her reply was, what she knew of her father was that he wouldn't want anything named after him. If the country wanted to do anything for him, she said what he would say was the country needs constitutional reform. And that would be what her father would want. Not any monument, but he would want constitutional reform because he saw that as what the country needs to move forward in the kind of way that he saw and whatever his vision was for Trinidad and Tobago. What's your take on that? Is that your experience with him?
Yes. He was a very simple man, and he was a person I remember always had his feet on the ground, basically. I'm not saying so because he's dead, because sometimes he would not be in a fanfare. He wouldn't want nothing named after him. And all this fanfare is going on with state funeral and doing over this and that. He would be kind of aghast at it. And I remember a ophthalmologist telling me, an optician, that when Mr. Panday came to her when he was a prime minister, he would run in and greet the whole staff, as compared to other prime ministers who you had to go out and meet them and walk them in as an entourage. He would jump in and out and do it himself. Now, Mr. Panday was an advocate for constitutional reform. And the thing about it, he never got the chance, because when it was 33-3 in the NAR days, he couldn't push it because Robinson refused to change anything of the Constitution. He's on record of saying that at the night of his win in 1986, and he didn't want to rock the boat. We never got a constitutional majority to change it until 2010, and that was never changed. What I find is that Mr. Panday articulated constitutional reform, and if this country ever decides to do it, it would have to be a strong leader who doesn't want power for himself, but power for the country. A constitutional reform will give the country power, not the people in charge.
Do you see any leaders like that on the horizon?
None of them right now.
Because constitutional reform, people talk about it, but not the People's National Movement that much. They don't really advocate or have that as one of their narratives much. I know the UNC did under the People's Partnership, because they had these constitutional reform sessions across the country, but nothing really came of it.
No, that was tied. Yeah. No, that was tied to the leader of the prime minister having only 2 terms. And when we had to put it forward, Prakash Rambada had to put it forward, that part of it was not really accepted, because everybody wants to rule forever.
Yeah.
We did ask on our morning poll yesterday, and let me ask you, do you think Michaela Panday will be welcomed back into the UNC fold? What do you think about that?
That is a very, very serious question. If she has never been welcomed before since 2010, I can't see it happening now. It will be like the crime talks, plenty talk and no action.
Yeah, that I don't know what happened to that crime talks. Anything you want to add about Mr. Panday again?
Well, definitely he will be missed because he is a person who was very flamboyant and he always spoke his mind. He taught me to speak my mind, and he said at the end of the day, once you feel about it and you feel it's truth and you'll not hurt anybody, then go ahead and do it. But he always told me something, and it stuck with me. He said the PNM are the enemy. You know they're there in front of you, and those are the people who you could see. However, the hardest fight you will ever fight for is your enemy that you don't know, who are sitting down on your side right behind you. He was so correct.
Yeah, I hear. All right. Well, Dr. Fuad Khan, thank you so much for spending some time on the Power Breakfast
Thanks
Show.
for calling me. Thanks for calling
Yes,
me.
all the best to you.
Okay, bye-bye. Take care.
Bye-bye. Take care. All right. There you go. Of course, that was Dr. Fuad Khan speaking about Mr. Panday. So let's open up our lines now. 222-8255, toll free, North Americans, 866-525-1099. Of course, you can send me a WhatsApp at 318-1021. Wayne Joseph is saying we need way stations on the highway. I know that was, and they were supposed to have some portable way stations where they could just set up and weigh some trucks. You know what scares me the most, though, is when you're driving alongside or behind these trailer trucks. You ever notice their back wheel seems to wobble a bit?
Some of them.
That scares me. That scares me.
I treat all, this is no offense to truck drivers across the country listening to us. I treat all truck drivers as intoxicated. And so, therefore, I look at you by default as intoxicated. So I maneuver to suit.
Good morning, caller.
Hi, good morning, guys.
Morning.
Yeah, I just want to look at maybe a flip side of what the police commissioner was talking with you at the church.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, you can interpret it that she's asking God to help the police. But what if she's asking for the people out there to ask God to help them so their loved ones or whoever wouldn't turn to crime or be angry and have altercations that end either in death or injury? Because what a miracle really is, a miracle from what I see is a single mother whose husband just died in an accident on the highway, and she goes out to a market and sell pepper sauce and kuchila and put her children to school, and one is a doctor today and the other one have their last year in UE. Our next miracle is 13 siblings whose parents died through heart disease or whatever, and the big sister takes care of all of them, sends them to school, go to church, teach them, and not one of them pass the charge that's in a police station. So maybe she's asking, or maybe she does not articulate it, for the people to turn to God, for that to be an option than, say, drugs or alcohol or frustration sets in. So who knows? But I was just thinking it along that line.
All right. Thank you, Sonny. Good morning. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, Steve.
Morning.
Steve.
Morning, Lincoln.
Morning. Steve, I wasn't able to hear the whole interview, but I know you asked a very important question that affects me and the people of Chaguanas. I wonder if you did get to ask the minister the question, which was, what are their plans for the Chaguanas Bridge? Because in my opinion, and I'm sure that is why you asked the question, that 2-lane bridge is a great reason for the pile up of traffic now that we have from.
Yeah, you're talking about by Bagwan things.
Correct.
Yeah, I think I asked that. Did I ask that?
No.
I think they're going to use the median. What most of the expansion of the Solomon Hochoi Highway really involves the median. They're going to use the median.
That is the middle there, right?
Yeah.
That's what Jack Warner did, why we have 3-lane highway now. But the bridge doesn't have a middle, so they're going to have to construct a
They'll
middle
have to-
there in the bridge.
That bridge just looks scary to me, but I figure they'll have to do that.
Right.
Because there's no way you could go from 3 to 2, then back to 3.
Correct. There will always be a bottleneck.
There'll always be
So
traffic.
they have to expand that bridge
Mm-hmm.
and continue that all the way down to Shogunas,
Yeah.
right? But I'm glad to see that it's happening. I hope that it doesn't take 15 years to happen, like the 2 towers that is in 500 that they promised that would finish by the end of 2023.
Oh, good God, Lincoln, those towers aggravate me.
Yeah. Every time I look at it.
Correct.
They aggravate me.
People want housing in this country, and you have 2 towers there with a skeleton crew that you telling me you are supposed to finish by 2023, and it's 5 people coming out to work every day. I don't know when it will finish, and that towers has been building over 15 years now.
You know what? Also, what is also I find aggravating too, and I don't know how come the Burgesses of Shogunas don't object it. That eyesore of that, it's not a tower. It's like it's like a wannabe tower. If you're heading to south, it's on the northbound. It used to be owned by the Hindu Credit Union at the time, I think. I think they were building
a shell of a building.
A shell of a building.
Yes. I don't know. It's a white elephant. My mother calls it the white elephant.
And it's like an eyesore to enter the Burj, well, the soon to be, I guess, at some point, city of Shogunas. But it's an eyesore, and I don't know why people don't object to that eyesore that is basically at the entrance
to Shogunas. Yes.
Horrible.
I know what you're talking about. It's just horrible. But those 2 towers, if ever you get the Minister of Housing, I would like you to ask them to give us a new timeline for when those things will be finished and distributed. Because even now with the skeleton crew, they're only working on 1. You understand? Housing can't take 15 years to build. You understand?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. All right. So I hope the highway doesn't take the same amount of time. And at the end of 15 years, people clapping your government working for you, and it take 20 years to do a simple project like that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The creek still incomplete. We're going on maybe 10 years now. UNC was in office when that was building. If you're paying them in office 8 years now, it's going on 10 years now that they can't finish that creek, a little 300 feet road.
Yeah.
You understand? And we still chanting and clapping for these governments that not completing nothing in this country. Both of them, not one of them alone. All right?
Is that creek that you talk about finishing? Is that part of the highway to Point Fortin, or is not?
Correct.
It is.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah, where there was some problem and they were had to fix it or something.
Yes. When I was a layman, could I tell you the best thing they should have done is do piles and send that road over, fly that road like a highway over the sea. You understand? So whenever
they need to do that over Shagaramas.
It wouldn't affect,
It wouldn't affect the commute. But hey, I'm just a layman. I went to do college, so I can't suggest nothing. But yes, gentlemen, I listened to it into the part that I did here, and I'm hearing the normal PNM rhetoric. We're looking at it. It's a plan. Is that we investigating, and nothing ever happens. Everything you ask them, we're looking into that. But we have a problem, and there's always a problem why something cannot be done. All right. So I'm hoping. All right.
All right. Thanks, Lincoln. All right. 222-8255, toll free North Americans, 866-525-1099. You know, and I always wonder too. Garbage trucks, for example, which I look at. And I wonder sometimes how some garbage trucks pass inspection annually.
You have a lot of time on your hands.
You know, when you're driving, you have nothing else to do. And you watch a garbage truck and say, how that truck pass inspection, boy? Tail
That's
light
not crossed
broken.
my mind. It is not part of the reference in my universe.
Does he have
I
brakes?
don't see that. I
You know?
really don't see that.
I always wondered. Good morning.
Hey, morning, everybody.
Hey,
It's
Mr. Patrick.
And good morning. I was three issues. That highway coming up from Sandy Grande, Valencia, coming to West Bong. People could run off the road on the highway. You know?
Coming up
That
to
highway has
West
some
Brom where?
impression and some hump and sing down on the highway, boy. You know that, right?
I don't know that road well.
I don't even know what highway you're talking about. Are you talking about
The
the
highway-
Valencia bypass?
No. Coming through Antigua, Kumuto, coming up on the highway.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Coming on
On the
to the
Churchill Roosevelt. On the Churchill Roosevelt.
that highway, something wrong. That highway sinking in the center of that thing.
Yeah, it has some strange dips in that road.
Right. No, I hear the
Yeah,
minister talking about La Hokita. It's a simple solution, you know. I could be the engineer, you know. Why don't they put a ramp where you are going by way the shady places there, the gravel pit is there. Now, son, put a ramp for La Hokita traffic. It could swing right to go inside it and not to go straight up to go San Rafael and Brazil.
When you
Who
say a
going
ramp,
Brazil and San Rafael?
you mean a ramp crossing the entire highway?
Yeah.
You're
To
talking
go
like a
from the left
flyover
and
then.
swing across.
Well, that's
Go
one
from the
entrance.
left of the highway.
That's one entrance there, but that's the main entrance kind of to Lauketa, but
No, to the hardware entrance here. That's one of the
Yeah.
main entrance, but that was main entrance to White Swan side, another one. But the main entrance with the gravel pit is it.
on the highway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was a village a lot of traffic, sir. Plenty traffic from that lockdown because everybody had to leave Tunpuna Road over Cookwood Road to go across to go there. Everybody had to cross there.
Yeah, everybody has to
It's
go down
like
to the light. Yeah, everybody has to go down
Yeah,
to the light.
Yeah, that ain't making sense. A partner of mine is came to Trinidad for Christmas. They ship down some barrels. Up to now, they receive no barrel. What is going on in town, the port there? Christmas gone, the people gone back and they receive the stuff. Something going on the port. I don't understand that.
I don't understand either. I really don't understand what's going on in the port. There's such
Because
a backlog
lot
in
of
the
people
port.
ship things to Trinidad and they ain't get nothing for Christmas. They
Yeah.
go back home. Right? We need to take a look at them food prices right now. What's going on at bird? Food prices going up the road.
Mhm.
So I don't know this supermarket association doing. Right now we're in 2024 and this year seems to be a little more challenging when it comes to prices of food and things connected, like last year. So we need this supermarket association them to do something to talk to the public to find out what is really going on, what is the solution to that problem. All right.
All right. Thanks, Mr. Patrick. All right. 222-8255, North Americans, 866-525-1099.
And there's still a problem, with some of the street lights in Arima Central, the city center, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering, do TNTech people like their jobs?
I said the same thing this morning.
Because if it is that you're passionate about your job, in my opinion, you would notice that and you would do what you have to do to address it. It's like, for example, Steve, the Arima Borough Police is building a fence, a kind of wire fence for the police station. The Arima Borough Police, not National Police. Okay? So the fence is of a certain height. So I said, well, to the front of the fence, this is me talking to one of the workers. I said, shouldn't the front of the fence be a little shorter so that it makes it less intimidating and more welcoming to I get the issue of police stations having to be behind fences in Trinidad. I don't understand why. I mean, okay, we had an attempted coup in 1990, but I'm not so sure. To me, you shouldn't have a fence, really. You should just be able to make it more accessible. But okay, building a fence. I said, shouldn't the front be a little shorter to make it less intimidating for people to come to the station? No, everything going the same height. I said, okay. I said, but couldn't you all do a plant in front or something? I don't know why I'm engaging in so much, Steve. I don't know why. Maybe it's my curse is what you have by watching the truck. You watching the garbage truck.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm making suggestions.
I just watching trucks
that aesthetically look better. I said,
Yeah.
shouldn't you all do a plant in front with some plants and stuff like that so that it looks a little bit more beautiful rather than being so stark? One said he will make the suggestion. He said he makes suggestion, one person like it, but then he had who have to make the decision. He said, nah, we had the budget for that. There's nothing going on like that. Forget that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, why do I bother? Why don't I just mind my business and go my way?
But coming back to
Why do I make suggestions? Why do I go out of my way? I should just keep quiet like everybody else and go your way. So I understand Tech workers who drive around Arima and see that it's bloody dark and
do nothing.
And do nothing.
Because let's see, I called for it's a blown street light bulb, and I probably called about, no lie, 2 months ago, because it's at an intersection in Barataria, and it's quite dark. And I passed yesterday evening again, and it's still not repaired. There are vines growing. There are vines growing, Rich.
Yeah,
and
but
it's
when we
nice.
spoke to the CEO of Tech, Steve, he said they got money for that.
Yeah, he did. There are vines growing outside in a lamppost, a street light outside this building that I have taken pictures and shown to people and spoken to people and, to get it rectified, to cut the vines down, because if I go and chop the vine down and Tech pass, I might get in trouble. So let them do the job. It's still,
well, I don't even know.
Every week I come in, it's like an extra 10 feet has grown.
Yeah, it's just like you're talking about, because you have to give the poll number. So I don't know if they want somebody from the Arima Burgesses to go to each light fixture in central Arima where nobody's living because it's all commercial. And they want somebody to go and give them all the numbers.
Well, I usually take down the numbers.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying because this is city center.
Yeah.
And it's several, and some of them, and some of the street lights that are working are way too dim. In a country where you want people to feel more secure, and you want the place to be well lit, especially in a city center where issues can happen, you tolerate it.
But that's what I'm saying.
I don't know. Doesn't the members of the Arima Borough Council this not bother them?
But that's what I'm saying.
The mayor?
For example,
I don't know. Maybe that's why I say, Steve, forget the truck. Forget whether the truck worthy for the road. Just like I need to forget about the street lights and forget about making any suggestions.
But that's why I keep saying.
Because obviously nobody else cares about these issues.
No,
so why
don't.
Why are you making any effort?
And that's why I'm saying that in front of City Gate, take it from Central Bank to after HDC and put those floodlights. When you outside HDC, I don't know which taxi stand that is, but there's so many people waiting for transport, especially there. Light that whole City Gate area up. Floodlights on both, not one side only, both sides. So like Carnival, when they're doing Juve's, a set of lights, same thing. I don't know. Good morning, caller. Morning,
You
caller.
see the same morning. You see the same lights they put on the Arbit Avenue. If you put
Yeah.
that on that whole area in Port of Spain, that alone will change the aesthetics of Port of Spain.
Yep. You're right because those.
You're
those
so
lights
right
are
about that, huh?
Yeah.
You understand?
But the lights
And-
by what they have by the interchange that flood that
Yeah.
whole area with lights.
yeah.
Because the way the
So-
crime situation is right now, them fellas glad of dark, you know. They can't see my
Yeah,
face.
but Richard, I've heard your passion about Arima, and I feel that you should be nominated for the mayor of Arima, because I feel you will do a good job because you seem to have a genuine passion for the aesthetic of the place and the place. So maybe you should. I know you're a very busy guy between your law practice and your acting and stuff like that, but I feel you'll be a good candidate for mayor of Arima.
No, they wouldn't want him as mayor for Rima, you know.
I know.
Because that whole office will get vexed because now they had to work.
Yeah, they will have to work.
You know,
Right.
I have a default position that I think people want to work. You know, I just think it's motivation.
It's just about leadership.
It's all about leadership and motivation. Is both combined, Rich.
Yeah. I know everything people don't want to work.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Lincoln.
RG.
All righty. Paul Richard said he was going to join us on his commute. I don't know what happened to that.
Yeah. No, he frustrated. He talking a mile a minute, you know. You jab him out when you're ready.
Oh, geez, if we know that.
Yeah, so but he's talking a mile a minute to all sorts of people on the
He's always on the phone, so he's probably talking. Remember, he got a call from West from New Jersey. So he probably called back on WhatsApp and I had in the sound. I going to Mr. Panday's funeral. Is that Sapa, you know? Yes. That's what he's saying. Of course, I was just looking at some footage of on television regarding Mr. Panday. Of course, his funeral starts in 1 hour's time at the Southern Academy for the Performing Arts. You really need to rename these things, right? Instead of calling it Sapa or Napa. You know, and call it the Sundar Pupo Hall and what. Just rename the two entertainment. The Richard Raghubar Singh.
Oh God, no. Leave me out of that, please. Leave me out.
The Richard Raghubar Singh Center for Performing Arts.
Leave me out.
You know, oh my God.
I know there was a petition to rename the Central Bank Auditorium the Raymond Chukong Auditorium, but that never went anywhere.
Well, so is his murder investigation.
Well, yeah, but I know there was a petition there was one of those change.org petitions. Is it change? Yeah. So I don't know what, but things take very long and are very slow moving in this Twin Island Republic.
Why does everything take so long?
I have no clue. But if anybody from the Arima Borough Council is listening, or anybody who knows people in the Arima Borough Council, tell them to walk around in the night and take down the poll numbers and send it to TNTech.
That's all.
So that Arima, it's like people don't have I don't know if people don't have a love for the communities and where they live.
Well, aren't these
and how it should look?
Rich, I don't know. But isn't that part of the councillor's job as well?
I don't know. That's something for Wendell to answer. But I'm just saying, if you have a love for the communities and where you live, you would want it to look the best that it possibly could. You would want the people, and Arima has such a long history of people who are genre and want Arima to be the best. And Arima, as Wendell has always said, Arima is an easier place to fix than many. Because the city center is not huge, that you could make it into something really magnificent, aesthetically and for the people, and, to bring back people, walking on the streets in terms of safety and stuff like that. They said Arima was the first smart city, and it was the guinea pig, so to speak. I don't even know what is happening with that. There is no update. They built the data center down by the market because, of course, I try and find out stuff, but nothing has happened out of that. I don't even know what the plans are. It almost seems as if there's a collective don't care attitude that permeates the entire society, and it's troubling and sad.
Yeah. That
Anyway.
would fall under what ministry? Which
What do you
ministry?
mean?
Well,
Local government?
That's
The
no
local
question.
government is
Have we heard from that minister? We haven't heard from the Minister of Local Government even before the local government elections. We're in 2024.
Local government is you.
Local government elections was in
It
September
comes under
4th.
the Arima Borough Council, and also the member of parliament. When I spoke to her, Penelope Beckles Robinson, she was the one who brought up the first issue of the smart city to me. So maybe I need to privately message her and ask her what's an update with regard to that, because she will usually respond. Anyway,
good morning to Amjad Ali. All right, you ought to say goodbyes. I have to read the news brief. I haven't read my news brief yet, so expect me.
All right, so I'll just say my goodbyes on this Tuesday morning.
Yeah.
The 9th of January, 2024. Have a fantastic day, whatever you do. And of course, in spite of everything, remember to smile and laugh. It's great for your health, and nothing is more important than your health. Starts from there. So have a great day, whatever you do, and don't worry about nothing. In a sense, worry about stuff. But what is it? What is the famous book? Don't sweat the small stuff. Maybe we're sweating the small stuff, Steve.
Yeah, I think that's what we're doing.
That's what we're doing. We're sweating the small stuff.
Yeah.
So have a great day, whatever you do, and speak to you
buddy.
tomorrow morning.
You will indeed. All right. Of course, Wendell will join us tomorrow. We'll bring up the fact that, the role of a counselor. We'll do that. All right. So we have to get into this 8 o'clock news brief. Paul is not here to read. He's on the highways and somewhere on the byway. So let me try and give you a news update. All right. Here we go.
This is your news bulletin from Power 102 Digital.
All right, this is your 8 a.m. news update on this, the 9th day of January 2024. There are reports that yesterday the newly repaired road by Macaulay collapsed, leading commuters to spend over 4 hours in traffic. Minister of Works and Transport, Rohan Sinanan, says that part of the road has been an issue for over 10 years. Speaking with us on the Power Breakfast Show this morning, he said that in 2014, a retaining wall was built. Unfortunately, within the last month, the wall gave way. He said investigators found that there was an issue with water retention. He disclosed while a solution has been found, it will not be an overnight fix. Minister Sinanan noticed that they have decided to shift the highway in order to treat with the issue. On the passing of former Prime Minister Basdeo Panday, Minister Sinanan said that he was one who did his part for workers, especially for the sugar workers. He said he was a wonderful soldier who worked tirelessly for the country. Also speaking on the Power Breakfast Show this morning, Dr. Fuad Khan remembered Mr. Panday as someone who understood what it meant to be innovative and a person who utilized good people for the benefit of the movement. He said he was not afraid of challenges and innovative ideas, which he said is lacking in today's leaders. He noted Panday understood out-of-the-box thinking. Today, the state funeral for the late Mr. Basdeo Panday, former Prime Minister, will be held at the Southern Academy for the Performing Arts in San Fernando. It commences at 9 a.m. And then to the Shore of Peace cremation site, South Orapooch. The state funeral will be broadcasted live on all TTT platforms, that is television, Facebook, and YouTube. Limited space is available for members of the public to view the funeral service via live stream at the Sapa car park. Approximately 700 people comprising regional dignitaries, including Barbados, Foreign Affairs Minister, and CARICOM's Assistant Secretary General, are expected to be among the hundreds attending this morning's funeral for former Prime Minister Basdeo Panday at the Southern Academy for Performing Arts in San Fernando. The funeral of TNT's fifth Prime Minister begins at 9 a.m. A final farewell will be said to a man who very considerable, colorful, controversial career since entering politics in 1966 and the parliament in 1976 earned him legendary status among the public he served and on TNT's political landscape. Meanwhile, there's hope that the legacy of the former Prime Minister Basdeo Panday and first Tobago House of Assembly Chief Secretary Hochoi Charles continue to shape the thoughts and ideas and the policies of a region's academics, intellectuals, practitioners, politicians, managers, and policy makers. This message is contained in a tribute to both 90-year-old Panday and 77-year-old Charles, and condolences to their family, friends as well. Well wishers by the Department of Political Science